everything around you tries to distract you and leads you in another directions. It's really difficult to be really who you are. I was completely wired to more like how I feel about myself, what relationship do I have with the people that I really like and love, and how the times go, then I do really find myself in a state that I do not really want much. I do not really want anything special. I have everything, and I do, let's say, in the halfway through the marriage that I understand that it's not working like we want, and I start to self-analyze myself. This is only one small thing that I really want and enjoy to do, just to be honest to the people. Build your world around you, and it starts everything by your energy and what you're emitting to the people.
Today's guest took a broken marriage and rebuilt it into something most people don't have the courage to do. A life on his own terms. Welcome to the conversation, Vasek.
Hi, Christoph. Yes.
Very happy to have you here today.
Nice introduction, thank you.
So you are building stairs for a living, right? Mm-hmm. That's almost too good of a metaphor, because you're literally building the things people use to climb and to elevate. Did that ever strike you?
No, actually right now that you speak about it, it is quite good analogy, but my life, my steps, I always want to improve, to be a better version of myself, and maybe it's a good metaphor when you say it like that.
Absolutely. I believe so. When I thought about that, it came to me that this is how it should be, right? You elevate yourself, and you also build something to elevate other people. So tell our audience a little bit who you are, what you do, mm-hmm. and let us know about you.
What I think about myself, it is quite a big topic, because it's not easy to describe yourself, but I do consider myself to be a, let's say, father. I try to be the best version of myself, the man, if I can pronounce it like so broadly. And I do really, in my phase of my life right now, I'm trying to improve the side of my life to be able to really help the people around me, not selfishly to gain something from them, but I'm just in the phase of my life where I really enjoy to be helpful to other people and to feel the presence of the, let's say, the surrounding on the people around me that are willingly in my surrounding, and they want to be near me. And it's quite good and refreshing state, because you do not want anything from the people, and they don't want to anything from you, and still you are together in this, if I can describe it. And professionally, I just do engineering stuff for people. I do build them stairs and balustrades, mostly for the people from Austria. And yes, we do run the small business. I start to build this business with my father, and he is very close to me as a person. He is now like 7 years on pension, and I'm running it by myself in his steps, actually. That's my current journey.
Yeah. If somebody would have asked you this question, who you are, mm-hmm. about 10 years ago, what would be different?
It would be heavily different. The experience that I lived through my adult life, like I do not consider myself to be adult until I was 32 years old, because I was just older, but only very unexperienced. And what really developed my character, I think, is on the self, let's say, improvement basis was the marriage with my wife and the parenthood that I just saw what it is to be father, and it really showed me the real myself. It was in that state was not so. It was surprising, because I was considered myself all my life for another person, but I find myself like 10 years ago, and since then I just trying to improve constantly, and the magnitude of improvement of myself for my personal circumstances is quite massive over the 10 years. It was painful a little bit, of course, but the change is painful every day. But right now I'm in a quite nice position, and I feel very good about my state of my life, my relationships, my business, everything around me.
Was there like this one defining moment where you suddenly opened your eyes and realized that things have to be different?
Yes.
Or can you describe that a little bit?
There were more of the smaller, let's say, milestones in my life, which were very, let's say, opening my eyes. First one was before my marriage, or slight after it. This is like when I was 30, 32, my father was ill, and I understand that the journey in your life, you can choose to be victim, or you just choose to believe in yourself and to be able to really project the future and the reality in your realm. And it really make me, let's say, feel that how strong I am in some, let's say, stressful situations. That was the first milestone. And the next one was mostly the painfulness and the bitterness of myself in the not functional marriage, and how do you have to battle with yourself to not be toxic in the relationship, but still to be able to maneuver yourself and the others to be protected, provided for them, and to be a good person after it is all settled up. That was a big journey, like 3-4 years actually. It was painful, but it really showed me what I do want in my life, and showed me who the people around me are. That is really important for me right now.
Yeah. You said that you always have the possibility to choose either to be the victim or to like take responsibility. And I don't know if you have the same feeling, but for me, in today's society, you are growing up and you are trained almost always to go in the route of being the victim, because then people take care of you, and you kind of have to find your way, right? So what did you do in order to bridge that gap?
Mm-hmm. I was always, let's say, maybe thankful to my parents and their upbringings, but I was always quite self-conscious and self-confident. I didn't even ever felt myself to be victim of the system. I was not keen in my early ages to be employee or something like this. I was always more keen to be self-sufficient in my life, in my business, in everything. But to really, let's say, answer to your question, for myself, the self-improvement part and the self-conscious part, that everything is my fault and everything in my life is my construction, the good and the bad, is really the crux of how I do feel my male experience. Everything around me is my doing, and I really believe in it. And when you curate yourself to handle the things gentle, or you have really pure intentions in your heart, and you do not let yourself to be influenced by the destructive things, then you immediately see the difference between who has good intention in heart to you and what actually can bring to you. And it's just completely unconscious then when you bring into your life this kind of decision making, then you are just going through the life on the, I think, right path. And somebody could really bond it really tied to some religion. For myself, was it not so much about religion, but how I'm getting older and older, then I see the patterns that are quite religious way, in some special way. That means it's hard to distinguish that one from each other when I say it correctly. Do you have the same feeling in your life to really be led by, let's say, the good in your heart and to project it to your surrounding? Does it work for you as well?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that when we grow up, all of us want to be good people, right? Mm-hmm. From everybody, from the bottom of their heart, they want to be good people. And that's also why this seems to be such a paradox, because when you're trained to be the victim, you're also trained that being the victim is the good one.
Yes.
You know, you're not the aggressor. You're being the the kind, the morally superior one. And this is the paradox, that when you actually start to become responsible for what you do, to take matters into your own hands and see as everything is your doing, actually only then you can become really good.
Mm-hmm.
And this was so interesting for me. There was this realization that when you take responsibility for your life, that actually you become more powerful, you become an agent. You suddenly get the ability to change things,
yes.
to make things more beautiful, to make things more beautiful for everybody around you,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yes, I totally agree with you in this. The big part of it is to understand that really, and everybody has that's probably the same feeling, that you have both sides of the let's say good and bad in you, as everybody, and you just curate your way how to really want you to be seen, not seen by the people, but to your own reflection. Because the very big issue for me is that when I was younger, then I was more, let's say, motivated how to I'm seen by other people, how I don't know how good relationship do I have, how beautiful is my girlfriend, how much money I have, what car do I own, this kind of let's say things that was implemented into my mind by the system. And how I grow older, quite like really that's not a recent one. I'm wild like that for, let's say, 15, 20 years for sure. But then I understand after I had my child and my wife and this consequences of the relationship that was not really the pristine functioning one, then I understand that is much more important in my life than materialistic things, which I was completely wired to. More like how I feel about myself, what relationship do I have with the people that I really like and love, and how the times go, then I do really find myself in a state that I do not really want much. I do not really want anything special. I have everything, what I quite desired on the materialistic, let's say, part of the my world, and the relationship that are constantly changing, of course. But I do not really strive for to achieve something, let's say, to be somewhere with someone. I do like the good company of people, which I have to feel that I deserve to be in their presence, and that motivates me to be a better person, I think. And that is the part that I do want to go in through my life right now. And the relationship, everything around my world is wired to really be, let's say, helpful or good to someone, to maybe inspire someone, I hope, someone younger than me, and to really feel good about it, to have like somebody can call it like to have some light in your soul or Jesus, or I don't know how do you want to pronounce it, but really this is quite big motivation to my whole action, and I do project it into my business as well the same way. Because, for example, today I was visiting one customer which wants something from me, and I see that it is for his budget extremely difficult and big, and he wouldn't be satisfied with it. And I just honestly talk him through the whole project, which was completely destroying my profit and everything. But I'm feeling right about it, because he right now will make decisions by himself to invest in something meaningful for him. And I do have enough customers to not be able to let's say, this one I have to do. And it's quite small thing to do, but I do not want to deceive, to extract value from anybody, like not to tell him the half true and then extract the money from his project when I currently know that he won't be satisfied with it, because it's too expensive for his house and for his budget and everything. This is only one small thing that I really want and enjoy to do, just to be honest to the people, and then go with the consequences of it. I do like this approach to life. That is my motto, let's say.
So when did this motivation come to you, or this this concept of life come to you, or were you always wired like this?
Yes, I was always like this. I was always like this. I was distracted by the mainstream and everything around me when I was studying and I was starting my business. And after years, when I saw my life and everything else, I just restarted myself. I just get back to my, let's say, wiring, my default state, and from it I just found the greatest power to be really who I am. And it is really when you are in the state, it's very easy to be in that state, but to self-diagnose yourself and the state and everything that happens around you, and to be able to really go back and be really present and clean in that state again, it's not very easy. Everything around you tries to distract you and leads you in another directions. It's really difficult to be really who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's so interesting to talk to people like you who managed this process of finding back to themselves. Because ultimately we are all born pure and
Yes.
and with a good heart, with good intentions, with the search to find who we are, to find what we are here for, what we need to do in our lives in order to feel fulfilled, right?
Yes.
And this realization and this journey can be quite painful for some, and for some they don't ever manage to find out who they are, who they need to be, or find back to themselves. So when did this process start for you? Was there some point when you realized that, okay, these ideas that I have that are not actually mine, I need to do something about it?
Yes. Really, the biggest influence of it was my ex-wife, which she is really a nice person. She lives in the truth the whole time. And I do, let's say, halfway through the marriage, that I understand that it's not working like we want, and I start to self-analyze myself. I'm good at it to analyze myself. I'm really, let's say, I can pinpoint lots of things in my brain and to analyze it. Really, I'm bad like that. I'm not a very emotional person in that state. And I was self-analyzing myself to that extent that over like few months, I just start to understand the patterns. Of course, there is many things on the online that you can search and you can be inspired by, and I just self-analyze myself to that extent that I just start to understand that I'm in the point of my life that I'm not myself, and I have to do something with it. I didn't know what, but I felt that I'm not at the right place in the right mindset, and I started to analyze it deeply and deeply. And the key to me, the exact moment, was to really analyze my life, my upbringing, my mostly relationship to women in my life. I don't know if you have the same experience, but for myself, I just understand that I was wired from my childhood to be really afraid of women, because I was a young boy and I was afraid of the teacher in the kindergarten, which was really, let's say, harsh woman. On the middle school, the same. All through all my life, even my mother, I was wired that I have to please the girls and the women around me to not, let's say, handle with their emotions. And I was not thinking about it so clearly, but when I just did go to the crux of it, then I did understand it, and immediately it changed my relationship with my mother, with every girl around me, and I was keen to find like some stoicism and something like it in my personal life. And when I self-analyze myself to the point that the calmness and the state of the mind came instantly without any effort, because I did understand from where it actually goes. Mostly when you see the women and their emotional state, and you do not mirror it, you just are in the presence and you are able to understand it, to live through the emotion with them, but not let yourself to be dragged that let's say emotional direction, which is completely toxic in the relationship, as you can see for sure. That means that was the biggest thing that I saw in myself, and immediately opens the discussion with my current wife there, and we just randomly speak about our relationship, and opens everything around us to our problems. We discuss it many months together, and in the extension of this, my mindset, it allows me to evolve our relationship in something new and cure the pains before, and to be able to go in the future with let's say clean sheets and to be friendly and so on. That means it was extremely difficult. It was extremely important to me to be able to maintain the relationship, because I do want the best possible circumstances for my daughter, and the best circumstances is to have the family unit bound together by some force. It has not for sure be like attraction force. It's more like duty and love and understanding and friendship. That is my current relationship with my wife, actually, and it is much better than before.
Yeah, you touched something very interesting there. How do I put it? That everything is actually energy, and the male and female energy are completely different, and they are built to complement each other, right? To fulfill each other, to be there where the other is lacking. And this is the beautiful thing about the family, that you come together and you build a whole. And when you realize this, that your energy differs from the one of a woman, then you also figure out that your role is different from the role of the girls, the women around you. And with this realization, you can start to build yourself. And there's this proverbial, the rock in the waves that doesn't let itself get distracted by emotions. And I think this is a beautiful picture that you can hold in your mind when you try to create your emotional frame in a relationship.
Yes, it's exactly what you actually now, let's say, said, shows how experienced as a man you are with women. Because my biggest mistake in my 30s, when I started my relationship with my ex-wife now, was that I didn't understand this dynamic at all. I was trying to be nice, I was trying to be supportive, and I wasn't knowledgeable enough to understand the dynamic between the man and the women. And I just was like sold the fairy tale, as many girls right now are and many young people are. And I was molded to be just a nice boy around the girls, and I just want to figure it out how it goes, but it actually didn't work at all. First few years, of course, but when you go together through life, then the biggest point was that I was choosing my wife like to be very similar to me. That means she was lacking the let's say someone superior beside her. She had something on the same level, and that's destructive for the relationship, because the girl needs to be in the relationship the weaker one, that you are the leader, not by the force, but only by the example you provide, and you protect the innocence, the new child, and then the wife, and she is able to switch into her feminine, and this is exactly what you need. And I choose somebody. She doesn't knew about this as I did. We just was pristine both. But after we go through our lives, we do understand that we are not in the let's say two parts that build something better together. We are competing together all the time, and this is extremely exhaustive and destructive. When she was attracted to me when I was younger, then I was on my let's say state similar to the state that I'm right now. But over the years, I just lost the touch because it's exhaustive to be there and for her, and it just the cuts of the 1,000 cuts, the deaths of the 1,000 cuts. That is, and the relationship suffered, and you after a few years find yourself in a state that just does not work. The attraction, the relationship. You like the person, but you cannot connect with the person, and that's the really important part, because you do not want to harm this person, but you still do not feel the love, that you don't take any energy from that person, and she just felt the same. That means, what now? And now you are stuck, and the years are running, and you just want to do something with it, and you try to repair it from many directions. But the only change was when I understand that I'm not the one that I want to be, that I'm not myself, and that sparked everything that goes after that, and it's much better experience for both of us right now. That is the main issue. Actually, when I was much more educated on this relationships, let's say, things, and do understand that I need another frame, then I for sure would be not keen to choose her as my option to marry and to have kids with. Not because she's a bad person, but we are not compatible in this way. She's not too much too manly, let's say. This is the approach that I. But it was my fault, because she was just girl, innocent, and we was in love for sure. It was no deception, but the life goes, and you have to own it, actually.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting, especially this arc of first being in the frame automatically because you're a charismatic guy, you're confident, and she feels attracted to you, and then you have this death by 1,000 cuts where you slowly lose your frame, and you, as you said before, came into this frame that is trained into us, that we try to please.
Yes.
And try to do everything not from because we want to do it or because it's in our nature to do it, but because we want to have something from it. Yeah.
Yes.
And this feeling of needing something from it is a very repulsive force. That can be totally destructive for any kind of relationship. Not only relationship like marriage or love relationships, even in business. Mm-hmm. If you come to a business relationship with needing something,
that doesn't
everybody feels repulsive.
Sure.
That's actually a universal law. Like when you need money,
yes,
you actually repulse it. You can be sure that money takes a huge extra way around you. And as soon as you are good with not having it, mm-hmm. you do not need it anymore, and suddenly everything comes.
Yes. This is the main state in you defines which things and people are attracted to you. If you just emit the energy which is repulsive, in this case for in the relationship, then it's your fault. You have to change your attitude to radiate and to bring in your life that it sounds a little bit let's say not from this world, but it's actually my life experience is exactly like that. You build your world around you, and it starts everything by your energy and what you emitting to the people. And if you are master of it, then you it's actually not able. It's not possible to have bad life. It's just but because you do not fear anything, then you are who you are, and everything around you is completely organically natural around you. That means you feel really good. And some people could be in this state, like, I know, in show business because they are so, and some people may be in some forests and surrounded by animals, but there are where they meant to be, and it's very strong feeling. You are happy in this state, and you do not care about anything which the media or I don't know who presented to you that you should strive to. Then you really feel yourself to be free. And it is my goal to be like until my last days, to be free, not from the system, because you are not able to free yourself completely, but the inner self, free the inner self to really be who you are and surround you by the people that are naturally ready to you and bring to your life. That's impressive all along enough for me, and that would be beautiful life if I'm able to construct my life around this team. It's extremely satisfying. The freedom in it. This is intoxicating because you cannot go back. If you feel a little bit that you are stepping a little bit away from this, let's say, state of mind, immediately you feel extreme self-corrective way that you are not in the right direction. You feel it in your guts and you cannot go this way. Maybe it is like some kind of some religious ways how to do it, but for me personally it's natural. I'm just wired like that. I do not need anybody to tell me that. I just experience it, and I'm quite happy with the state of mind in this correct way. And I do feel the people around me, I see you in the same state, because when we meet each other, then I immediately saw the energy that you projecting. It was calm, it was very pleasant, it was very confident, and just nice person to be around. And you do not need to force it, just organically happens. And it is actually my feeling towards you immediately, like first 1 minute.
It's so interesting because what you just said, it's the ultimate key to creating paradise on earth, right? Because when you and we can open this up to hours long of discussion, but if you boil it down, it's to figure out the connection between your heart and your mind,
yes,
where your heart is happy and your mind is happy. This state where you are in truth with yourself, this creates this beautiful life around you, this radiance.
Yes.
But that's already very, very advanced. So let's take one step back to this time when you realized that you need to change something. So you analyzed your mental state and you figure out, okay, this is not how I need to be. What was the next steps? What was the process that took you out of this, let's say, emotional state that was not yourself into becoming more calm and realizing who you need to be?
It's a good question, and it's quite obvious to me. It was the next step was when I just felt that I found my core. I analyze it really in many ways, and after a few days I just felt that I'm on the right place, and then just I was brave and open with it, and I go in this exact moment to my wife at the time, and I just openly talked her through my experience and told her how I feel, what is happening with me, and what I do feel about me. And it was so honest that she immediately, because the girls and they are naturally wired like that, and when the energy, then she opens immediately as well, and it just evolves. The truth and the bravery to go and to not feel ashamed or to be judged. Just open your heart and tell the other person, and then you will see what happens. And if it's repulsive from that, then you just were honest, and you cannot do more. And if the other person is not responsive to it, then it's all right as well. But you did the right thing to go and said, hey, here I am. I just did wrong things. I just feel not good about this, and I just want to you to say that you understand where I am, what is happening to me. Because the first thing that I was going to her and in our minds was to save the marriage. We didn't want to destroy it. We want to save it. Then we speak together like months about these topics, and we opened every wound that we ever had and we ever felt between us, which was not so many because we are not people that want to hurt each other. But of course, in like 5-6 years of relationship, you have many things that you want to discuss. And the biggest thing that I felt that I made wrong was not going to the painful stuff immediately when it happens. That is big. If some younger self, I had a time machine and could say something to me back then, it would be when you feel something that discomforts you, immediately go and discuss it and openly say it to the person which makes you feel that way. Because when you do not address it, when it's in the let's say starting state, then you let it to grow and it is hidden in your mind, and it is repulsive, and it is the energy of it is always there, and it only grows, and after years it just destroys the relationship between you and the person you have beef with. And this honesty just generate the honest responses, and we just talk hundreds and hundreds of hours about our relationship, and we just came to the conclusion together that we are after the point that the saving of our relationship would be not desired by any of us. It was quite sad experience. It was not a happy experience, but it was honest and sad experience. And we just together felt after really a few months that we have to go away from the standard relationship. We do not have to save it in the standard way, and we just let's say we just prioritize our relationship with our daughter and our friendship above our marriage, and it works because it was true. Then it works until today with really true, and of course we do have some beef sometime, but it is just friendly relationship all along. Nobody want to harm anybody, everybody is helpful, and we just like to be part like that right now. It's much more satisfying than to really want something from the other person and try to do something for her. It's just so deceptive, and it's not good. I do not like that approach anymore. I do see it around me everywhere, but everyone has to come to this conclusion by himself, truthfully by himself, because you cannot prescribe it to anybody. You have to be like that. You cannot tell somebody you have to do that A and B, and then your relationship will be repaired. That's not how it works, actually. This is sadly, but it is like so. This is my experience.
But you mentioned a very, very important step here that also can be applied to all of the other topics, not only relationship, that you actually have to open up your heart, look into it, and show the inside of the heart of your heart to the world without being ashamed or afraid of being accepted.
It's important. You saw it exactly right. It's important the point that it has to go truthfully, honestly from you without any hidden agenda, because somebody could translate it into I'm opening my heart to somebody to bring him back to my heart. It's not right. You have to open it and be brave to see the reaction and not really wanting something else from the people, which is completely opposite what many mainstream and psychology told you, because it's not about you, it's about the something between you. It's hard to describe, but this is how I feel it.
It's because it's a paradox. And like if you're opening your heart to be in a relationship or to find the perfect job for yourself in order to become wealthy or whatever it is, if you have an agenda attached to it, it will not work. It's not really opening your heart. But if you do it because you're opening your heart, because you want to show yourself to the world without the strings, then this is actually when all the other things will start to come into your life.
And when you speak about it, next thing came to my mind. It's from position of power. It's not from position of I'm seducing. It's quite nice, let's say, phrase in Taoism, because I studied it only because it was interesting how to be yourself. And it's not it's just like surrender to the force of the river, but you can steer your way through the river, and you use the force of the river to steer your life. It's not that you want to achieve something from the position of I'm surrendering to the universe and what happens. Oh. That's like from the standpoint of I use the power of life to steer myself to the right direction. It's from position of power, not surrendering and be victim. That's maybe some people could translate it like that, but it's from position that I'm so strongly myself that I do believe that I project this to the other people, to the world, to the I don't know who universe, and I'm not afraid what comes to me. I'm from position of power. I do believe in my future self. That's big issue. And in this state of development of my mind, it was from this position, from the position of the power. I felt to be empowered by the understanding of my personal soul, heart. How do you want to pronounce it? It's important.
Yeah. I think a very interesting insight to let this fear go, because oftentimes it's a little bit of fear attached. Like if I'm opening myself, maybe I will not be accepted by whoever is around me. The interesting insight to let this fear go is that whatever you resonate out into the world, only things that resonate with it, that are in the same frequency, that have the same energy, should be here in your life. And everything else will just slowly move away. So when you open up your heart without these strings attached, really just opening up your heart, then you're giving a chance to the world around you to adapt or to become the world that is actually meant for you. Meaning that the people will come into your life that are meant for you.
Yes.
All the ones that are not meant for you, they will move away. The job or the position, the company, the business that is meant for you will move into your life and will start to resonate with you.
You know what's very interesting in it? I extremely agree with what you did said right now, but I was completely opposite all my life. I didn't believe in this kind of, let's say, world. My worldview was quite materialistic, and I just switched to this kind of thinking, and immediately, magically, things start to happening in my life. I just was looking at it. I was surrendering to the current of the life, let's say this so poetically, and I was complete opposite. That means everybody is able to switch himself to the right state of mind. Everybody. This is our default state. When you see some 3 years old child, it's exactly in this position. No hidden agenda. He just enjoys himself in that current state, and this is really hard to, as an adult, to switch yourself in this position from the position of your inner strength. And if you are able to do it, you will be much happier. I guarantee it. Everybody.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. And okay, so you realized that this has to change. You analyzed it, and you started to bring truth to the world, bring your inner self to the outside, right? Were there ever times where this felt particularly hard, or where you were like, how to say, falling back into old patterns?
I was expecting that, because when I self-analyzed myself and of course consumed a lot of knowledge online and from books, then exactly this kind of thing was pronounced as it will probably happen, that I will go few steps back, but it doesn't ever happen to me. I was switched immediately. Maybe I was longer years prepared for this change probably, but it was extremely fast. It was like 1 week. It's not years transformation. It was immediate. And after that, I was so relieved of everything, the baggage, everything that I was dragging behind me, let's say mentally and emotionally, that what was so easy, like breathing. That since then I'm just like that, because it's easy, it's default state. I do not have to change anything. I do not have to. Of course, sometimes I self-correct myself, because I'm only a weak human, as everybody of us is. But most of the time, the state of the mind and the default state of the mind is just so default that I do not have to go from there somewhere. I'm there, and I'm happy in this state of the mind, which is quite hard to describe. It's really like that you are 3-year-old child playing with your toys, and you do not fear of tomorrow. It's just something like natural happening to your life. And of course, you're not the child, you have the responsibilities, and you have some moral compasses and this kind of things. But for an adult, it's not, I think, difficult. If you are able to find yourself, true yourself, then you are there and you are happy there. That's my answer to it. It's just not difficult. This is not difficult. It's just natural.
Yeah, I think it's a decision that you have to make, and a decision that you have to stick to.
Decision. Mm-hmm.
And I think if you're naturally a person who can stick to their decisions, then it's easy.
Yes, for sure.
But I have seen people who have a hard time, or sometimes falling back. But sticking to the decision, always coming back to the decision, having this autocorrective mechanism that you explained, this is what actually keeps you on track, right?
I was probably, when I think about it right now when we're speaking, then I'm like lucky, because I do not have no gambler mindset. I do not like any substances, alcohols, nothing. I do not like the altering state of my mind, if I'm expressing my correctly. I do not like the alcohol. I do not like any drugs, because I do not like the feeling that something altering my state of mind. That means I was never distracted by this kind of, let's say, behavior, because I'm always sharp in my mind. I do like the position to be there. I do not want to distract myself. And then when I made the decision, then I was not, let's say, the decision was not dampened by any substance that altered my mind and to show me some reality that I want to go right now, and then I have to autocorrect myself from it, because I do not have these experiences. I do not really have to autocorrect myself from something that distracts me, because I'm always me.
Yeah. I can imagine it's also that, as you said in the beginning, that you are by default a person who is very good in self-analyzing. Mm-hmm. There's a book by, I think it's called, he's called Maxwell Maltz. And the book is called Psycho-Cybernetics. I don't know if you know about it. And he describes this process of making a decision and then self-analyzing, self-autocorrecting. Like imagine it like a room thermostat. You set it to a specific temperature, and when it becomes too hot, it cools down. Mm-hmm. When it's too cold, it automatically heats up. And when you install this in yourself, this autocorrective mechanism, then this is a sure way of getting where you want to go.
My personal experience, the struggle with the self-analyzing mind, which is just what I am. I do not learn it. I just buy it like that. The dark side of it is you overanalyze things. You are, most of the time you are paralyzed by the analysis, because you are too deep and you are just rethinking the topic, and you are not closing the loops in your mind, which is the thing you have to understand, and you have to learn how to stop the analyzing in the right way. This is the self-corrective thing, that you do not have to correct yourself to be back on the path, but you have to understand that your mind is really keen to overanalyze things, and it's not. You have to. This is important. That was when I'm now thinking about it back. That was a big issue for me. I was focused to really live through the body. It's some term from some book. I do not remember the name, but I was always in my head to self-analyzing things, but I was not experiencing the life, the body itself. And for me, it was quite big deal because I just let the mind go and just experience the life, and that really filled up the holes in the whole picture for me, because I was always in my head. And when you start to live through experience, to relationship, to open your heart to things that happens to you, then it's extremely self-developing part. This was for me the real issue to really focus on. But I was like in few weeks in that, and I'm doing it because I'm doing it. I do not let's say self-correcting myself to live through experience. I just live through them because it's natural. But I was really it was necessary to me to force myself to switch a little bit off the mind and lift more. I don't know how to explain it. Lift more to experience the emotions, because the way how to go through that experience was not to dump it and understand it and let it go. It was go through the emotions, through the pain, through the sorrow, through the pain of the that you understand it, that something ends, especially the relationship with my wife, and it was painful. It was not settled. If I could choose, then I of course choose that we are not separate. But for this exact moment, I understand that I have to live through all the emotions, everything. I was just brave to let it happen, and after few weeks, you just understand. You correct yourself to understand, and your body just goes, and then you are really healed, actually.
It is this overthinking is also a very interesting point, because I think a lot of people suffer from it, if you can say that, and it's a way where our mind tries to find a solution to the problem, right, by the force of the mind.
Yes.
And this becomes very energy intensive at points, and it's again about this surrendering from a stance of power, right? Because if you surrender from a stance of power, you're saying, I'm okay with everything that will happen, and whatever happens, I will do everything in my power to get the best possible solution. And when you act from this state of mind, you can let this thoughts or this train of thoughts go, and you don't need to force the outcome any longer by the power of your mind.
Yes, exactly like that. And most of the time, the over-analyzing things doesn't solve the issue, because the issue is maybe not solvable. You just wasting energy to solve something which you need live through. That is exactly the analogy what I meant by the living in the body. You just do not need to understand it. You have to live through and let it go, and you understand it later. Then that is my experience.
Absolutely, because by overthinking it, you often focus more on the negative outcomes, which,
for sure,
as we know, if you focus on whatever you focus, this you will attract.
Yes.
And by becoming more, as you call it, living through your body, I call it becoming the observer, like actually experiencing it.
Yes, it's the same.
You step away, you take a step back, and you see the things for what they are, and you do not focus on the negative
it's much more easier.
Positive. And
it's extremely easier, because you do not have to understand it. You live through and you observe, and you see what it is, and you then direct yourself in the right direction. And you do not need, it's much more energy efficient approach to life, because you do not need to overthink it. You just live through it and you adapt. And after you just make it your habit and just who you are, then you just, of course, you have to think about things, but not in that manner that you are really struggling with. And it's just I think many people have this issue, because I'm not special. Everybody is very similar in that brain. But of course, some people have some issues, upbringings, and so on. But as from the standpoint of the soul and the mind, I do think that it's very applicable to anybody. these things.
I also believe so. Sometime before you mentioned God. Did you, through your journey, at some point find through God, through religion, or some other way, or what role does God play in your life?
It's interesting, and thank you for asking that, because it's quite let's say experience really fresh for me. I wasn't ever really religious. I was not forced to be religion. I was not to be atheistic. I was not forced to any of this thing. And big portion of my life, I was quite ignorant to this topic. And right like 2 years ago, maybe, I just understand that there is some forces in our lives that I cannot describe. I do not feel myself on that level to be able to understand it. But experience showed me that there is something else between us, energy, I don't know, universe. I really do not need to give it a name for myself. And it naturally sparked my interest in this topic. And as I'm materialistic as I am from nature, that I just start with the Bible, and I was just starting to listening to some podcasts with this theology, and I was listening to very clever people that are speaking about this topic, and I immediately saw myself there that I really do feel to live to the standards and something that is beyond me. And it really helped me to understand, because for myself, for my personality, is really important to have, I don't know, mission, but something like that you really see as something you strive to do in your life. I do not speak about next day, but in your whole life. And for me personally, actually right now, when I make a shortcut, it's like the teaching of the Holy Bible, not by the church part. I do not like church as an organization of people, not so much, but I do really like the book itself and the teaching of the Jesus Christ and the ideology behind the divine something that you ever be able to achieve, but you do want to go this path. And it really is extremely powerful to me right now. It's maybe a little bit cliche, but for me, I just take the life or the direction of the Jesus, of what he teaches, and I do really think that it's the right thing to be in my life. I do not want to let's say surrender myself to the idea that I have to do something to after the life be. It's not driven by fear. It's driven by purpose. And my purpose in my life is to be as close to the picture of the Jesus. And it's never achievable at all, because I'm only human. But it is extremely powerful to think about it like so, because you are immediately better man. But I experience it quite right now to really go through my life, and if you are really taking this for yourself, and you are not forced to it, you just take it because you decided to, then you immediately see things that you do not want to do. Immediately see things that you are attracted to, and immediately you just have Jesus in your heart, as it sounds, and you immediately feel to be better person, not because you want something, but because you have some idealistic approach to something that you want to be, or want to go the direction to. And it's quite powerful. I didn't ever thought 1% about it, that I'm able to really feel that and be like that. And it immediately makes sense to me, and I really like the journey. Mostly because I do really feel strongly about the attack on the innocence in the world and these topics. I do not want to open it because I'm not special. My specialty is not about it, but I do really think that in the world right now, the heinous things are happening, and I do see that as a force of something else than only people. And I do want to be on the right side in this case, and I want to be as good as I could be and help people and protect the innocence. That's really hardly embedded into my soul actually right now. I do want to live like that. All my resting days, I will be like that. I cannot go back.
It's a super interesting and powerful topic, and you said before that obviously it cannot be achieved. I don't think that it is actually about achieving here, because as soon as you take Christ as an example, and I think that's what Christ really is. He's an example of how you can live your life and create paradise on earth for yourself by being true, by opening up your heart. And finding or seeing this power that is beyond me, whatever you want to call it, right? This is what helped me to remove the fear of opening up my heart to the world.
Yes, and everything that the biggest thing that shined through the books of Bible to me is like I do not the verses, because I read it only like twice, but it is like do not fear, and it is extremely powerful, because the fear is the tool how to distract you from the right path. Because if you fear something, you try to avoid it, and if you try to avoid it, then you are not natural, and you try to mold your reality around to not go there. You do not have to fear. You have to believe in yourself. You have to open to the, let's say, divinity of Jesus Christ, for this example, and you just live bravely through it, and most of the time and every time you feel much better than to fear and to be anxious and so on. And it leads you to much clearer path, and you feel everything so naturally. It's the biggest thing that I feel around my journey right now is to everything goes so easily. It's not forced, it's not planned. It's just, if you take it for yourself, then it leads you. You do not need to understand it. You just do not have to have fear. You have to go from the standpoint of power and the taking these teachings or this idolizing persona as a son of God represents. Then actually it enhances the power in you. It multiplies your power, because you do not fear the things that you was afraid before, because you just go through life with believing in yourself more. And it is quite difficult relationship. I do not need to go to the church and to be somewhere around people that believe the same thing that I believe. I just took this one from the Holy Bible, because I do like the literature of it, and I saw, all right, that's a role model for me that I want to strive to be at least as him a little bit, and it not change my life, but it enhances my life and in my life experience. I really, and I do not really am against another, let's say, religions, because of course, probably many religions have the similar role models there. But for me personally, for my structure of let's say duties and my upbringings and everything, the Jesus is the best, let's say, role model for me personally. That means I choose him, and I'm just going this path. And when you ask me the same question 2 years ago, then I will be completely ignorant to this topic, completely ignorant. And now, of course, I do open myself to see, because I was not foolish, but I was not experienced. I was not ready for it probably, but my life is much better when I live like through it. And examples in my life, many examples happening in real time right now that I can give, but it's not just it's not necessary.
Absolutely. And I think it also doesn't really matter in what version of religion or what kind of religion you believe in. It's more about the realization that same as the example, you are also, every one of us is son or daughter of God, meaning that part of God is within you, and that you will always be taken care of, and that you do not have to be afraid. And if you understand this, then you can become one of the greats, right?
For sure. And the next thing that I see really happening only, let's say, from the from the position of the observer of the world, many people do think that they are not God, but better than other people, closer to God than anybody else. Is extremely toxic, and it's not let's say something that is from their mind, because they are successful people. They have many cheerleaders around them, and it is extremely slow process to them to just not be humble and to understand that you are only a man, and it is quite powerful. And I do think that many leaders in the world right now are on this path. Maybe not so in the let's say malicious way, but it gets to you. I do this, let's say, imagine how it has to feel when you are like some celebrity or some people in this kind, and thousands of people cheering you as a god. That it has to come to you, and if you understand what the holiness is, and you see it in your heart, then you can't ever be let's say so naive to not understand this topic. It works like a powerful thing to enhance your life and as a shield in the same time, because it's shielding you from the weakness and from this kind of things. Do you think that is real in this life? Of course, we are not famous, but for the people that are on this level, that it has to be extremely contagious to really see the people around them, to cheer for them, and it has to be completely toxic for the mind. I can imagine.
Oh, absolutely, but I believe there's this concept or that idea that our presence here is like, it's all about the experience, but it's also about what you are going to do with your soul, in which direction you are going to go, right? And this, if you think about it, is a constant test. And the more you rise and the more you climb, the bigger the tests become. And
for sure.
So until the end, it's all about how you live every moment and how you decide in every moment.
Yes,
I think this is what is important.
That's yes. You summarize it much better than I. You really always under the test, and you have to, when you have in this kind of mind state, always the Jesus or which God do you want to have in your heart, and to want to understand that you are still only human all the time. That it's shielded you from the, let's say, fear and the feeling to be someone else. Maybe I do for myself. I do not think about these things too much, but for me it's a just powerful thing to take into my life, because I was never in the presence of it, and now I'm experiencing it, and the same as the freedom of the mind. I do not ever want to be without it. If it's understandable, because it's free, it's extremely powerful, and extremely beneficial for me, for my life, for my everything around me.
Yeah,
I really like it.
Very, very liberating.
Yes.
If you think into the future, where do you want to be in 5 years?
I do really do, as I at the beginning of our discussion started with it, I'm really quite happy with where I am right now. I do really have some sight to be better at some things, mostly the relationship status with other people, and to be helpful. I do want to be in 5 years more helpful to the everybody around me than I'm right now. But I do not want to, this is hard to predict, but on the business side, I'm quite happy. On the relationship, I'm in the healthy relationship right now. I do not want to do anything about it. I mean, in another way than to evolve it as natural as it goes. And my biggest let's say motivation in my life actually is to be able to help somebody. I do not have like one person to just to be helpful, to be happy with who I am. That's it. That's the answer. And when I'm able in 5 years to be better than my version today, then I will feel myself to be successful in this journey.
Wonderfully said. Where can people find you if they want to contact you?
I'm not really seen on any social media. I do have, of course, the main ones. Probably on Instagram, but I'm really not there as a persona. When someone wants to see my work and not want to be inspired by it or to use some advice from me, then he can found myself easily on the websites on my staircase and balustrade business.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Vasek, it was a great pleasure. Thank you so much for being here, for having this conversation, and for opening up.
It was quite easy, and thank you to having me. It was quite nice experience with you as well.
Thank you.